What's up, guys? We got the brand new Qi35 drivers here today, and I'm going to be testing them out.
That's right, there's 3 models. We're going to start with the Qi35 Max. Find out which player this could be suited for. Then we'll go into the Qi35 before closing out with the Qi35 LS. We're going to be putting all of these through their paces. I'll be doing the fitting.
And I'll be hitting. Let's get right into this.
So just before we started rolling, you spoke to me about shot shape that you're trying to hit, which is also important.
Yep.
Also tee height, which with this new line of products is massive, because we're looking at CG, center of gravity projection through the face. So when I look at how low you're teeing it, I notice it's a lot lower than last time.
Right.
Do you want to talk to us a little bit about why you're doing that?
Yeah, I've teed it down just even lower than this. Is kind of how I normally been playing it. But for me, visually, when it's teed lower, I have to stay on top of the golf ball. When it's teed high, I get this way and I lose it all over the place. So teeing it down lower, my dispersion is really, really tight right now.
Okay.
I'm hitting a lot better.
Now that's interesting, because with the Qi35 Max, give us another one, hit that out there, and you just keep hitting, I'll keep talking. But it's all about the 10K inertia, which is going to be the twist in the face at impact on an off-center strike.
That's the fade right there.
Okay.
Like a couple yard fade, lower. That feels really good.
You thought this would overspin, right?
I did. This Max, this is the Max model. This feels awesome right now.
Because we've got it set up with not much loft for you. Now I saw you just taking a look at the face. You notice that it's got some markers on there.
Little white dots everywhere.
So this is a fitting head. So the data that comes to me through our launch monitor that we use is now more accurate, because we've got these markers on the face. They're actually underneath the last layer of carbon in there. This is the 4th generation twist face. So they're actually in the face.
Wow.
So when I fit with it,
but
I'm getting more accurate.
My model would not have these markers.
No, but we use it for fitting, so we're getting extremely accurate data.
Okay. 4th generation carbon fiber, right?
Yeah.
Now they're getting really good at this carbon fiber game.
Joey?
No.
Good hit.
Good. Yeah.
So when you go for the fade like that and you hit the slight draw, what do you put that down to?
That was just, I really wasn't thinking about a fade there. I just kind of swung normal. That's kind of my old golf swing. But that was, just down the left side of the fairway for me. I'm aiming just left of that light pull out there, so was not a bad shot.
So the difference on that one, you were 1 degree more up than the other 2.
Yeah, I could feel it.
And that's why you got the different shape.
Yeah.
So that shows you what we're dealing with, but
I got to tee it even a little lower than that.
Well, when you change it, then the spin drops.
Right.
So when someone watching this goes out for a fitting, and I think we're scooting over it here, they need to understand that if you get into the Max, you're probably going to be a high spin player.
Right.
The reason is because they're probably going to be trying to help it in the air. Right. You've already said, as an excellent player, I try and cover it. Well, you've also got plenty of speed.
Right.
So
yeah, I feel like I've always hit up on it way more.
Try and hit up on one for us, and let's try and focus on who might play this. So if you're going to hit up on this more, you're going to give a totally different spin rate, and that's where the Max is really going to come into its own, because it will control that spin rate.
Perfect. Oh, off the heel, but man, it was dead straight.
So how good's that? And that's the purpose of the driver. So your attack angle now went 4 degrees up. So you're massively in control of what you're trying to do. The spin rate came down because we changed the fit.
How far did that end up?
So if I give you, well, there's no wind today, so total 290. Okay. But you got more in the tank, we know that.
Well, maybe a little bit.
The difference is the height. You gained height based on the way you deliver it.
I like that.
Do me a favor, hit one now as far out the toe as you think you can hit it.
Try and hit it off the toe.
Correct. And let's see if someone struggles to strike the face where we're at. Okay.
See, again, that was actually, I think, off the center. I've never tried to hit a ball off the toe. I gotta try this again. Hold on. All right, aim it right there. Go.
Too good at golf.
Come on. I felt like that was kind of off the toe.
Pretty decent in terms of direction, right?
Yeah.
And the speed wasn't, you've been averaging around 163. The speed wasn't too bad.
I feel like with this Max model, you can hit it anywhere off the face and it's going to go somewhat straight. It's just that forgiving. It's just very visually, it's a bigger head. So visually it looks like it's really easy to hit. Wow, that looks really similar to the Max. And that's the normal core edition.
Correct. So now we've gone highest MOI, reduction to twist, 10K in the Max.
Right.
It also actually comes in a light head because this would be suited at players that want it, not for you, but super light shaft, so you can play it longer, lighter. The light head will help with the balance point.
Right.
But now we have this head that offers us a little bit more spin, but you're also going to notice I've got a 13 gram and a 3 gram right at the back there, 3 at the front, 13 at the back, movable weights.
So a heavier weight back here.
Well, this one has a heavy weight back here, but it's
What does that do?
adjustable, isn't it? Now I can move weights around. So when I can move center of gravity around, you can change the ball flow. So for someone like you, which you've just demonstrated, is so sensitive at the moment to tee height, which I love. Tiger Woods would be the same.
Yeah.
Tiger moves tee height, predominantly plays a low tee height, is looking to hit higher out the blade and knuckle cuts, which I think is something we're going to save for a little later in this video.
Right.
But I think that's why you might enjoy our third driver. But while we're on the Qi35, I can now, and we'll go for a full, we'll start in this one for you to demonstrate, but I've got weights that I can adjust as well, plus a loft sleeve.
Right.
So our center of gravity projection, which is what the drivers are all about, through the face at a certain point, you've got the fitting markers, but you're already demonstrating to us when you move tee height around, you change the way this club comes out. Right, give it a ride.
All right, I'm going to tee this one down like I hit a little fade like I'm doing right now.
And I like that. I think anyone out there going for a fitting, try and do what you're working on at the time. It's up for the fitter to diagnose that and read the situation. Just teeing it down a bit.
That was a huge miss it, but that's my target, the white flag right there.
So that's pretty good,
Still
right?
in the fairway, yeah. I mean, that was as bad as I could hit a golf ball off the heel. Yeah. And it's going to be down the right center of the fairway.
So this center of gravity projection through the face controls spin. You've just said there, I've hit it out the heel as big as I can, only 2,400 spin. In the past, that would have spun, you know yourself.
Yeah, it would have been a lot more, because off the heel it usually comes out really weak. That still had a pretty powerful ball flight.
Still in play, didn't peak as high as you can get your optimum, but still in a good spot. The other thing is, you know much about smash factor and speed off the face?
I do know that 150 is like your...
It's a 148 that was.
Really?
Such a poor strike. Pretty good, right?
148 on that strike.
So, I mean, I think that tells us out there for the golfer watching this, if you don't always hit the middle, well, this is something you should embrace. It's not going to be quite the max in terms of that twist.
Right.
But we've started with a poor shot. Trust me, this guy's only getting better from here.
Okay, a little fade. I need to actually hit a good one here. Nice little fade. Overdid it.
Fine. Still going forward. 1.5 on the smash. You got your 2,400 spin. You picked up a bit of speed and you launched it at 10.4.
Okay, let's get a good one. Really a good one. Here we go. Left with the feet.
That's great there. That's nice there, right?
Yeah, that was good.
Very efficient on the move. Let's take that one and then show that with this. Now that would be a good spin number for you, 2,200. Spin and launch are based on your speed.
Yep.
So like this is good. Maybe a hair more launch, but I like what you're saying and how you're moving over the golf ball.
Yeah.
So I then take that in with the fitting. But this probably wouldn't be the way we'd go, but I want to illustrate to people out there who are considering this driver and they want the larger head, they want the spin rate this offers. If you dive in, now you can literally move. There's a 13 there and a 3, you're moving 10 grams. We've been talking about the history of drivers at TaylorMade.
Yeah.
This is all learnings we've had. Once you can move that much weight around, you can move that center of gravity so much.
Wow.
If you're an engineer at TaylorMade,
Yeah.
and you get the option to move weight like this, you love it. Which is why this is all carbon. The whole club has the feel it has.
I love the look of it.
Well, we're saving weight.
Yeah.
So engineers, players love the look of it, and engineers love what we can do. And to this point, remember, we still haven't even got into the loft sleeve.
Right.
Which we might have to do with you, because it'll be interesting. You might now, with this 13 at the front, hit this really low. because you were apexing there at 90 feet.
Do you think I'm going to hit it lower?
Lower.
Okay.
Lower.
So what, you moved more weight or less weight?
13 all the way forward, more. You got everything now behind the CG. So this probably wouldn't be where we go, but I'm trying to illustrate to folks out there that now you got a driver that you can really manipulate.
Will this go further?
It will have less spin, so it'll have more run.
Okay.
So we could take here, the good number to take, that was 262 carry and 290 total. Okay. So you've had 30 yards of run.
And these are all my low T fades. These are not like my launching. I want to hit I'll try and hit a couple higher.
So you got 24 yards of run there.
Okay.
And you've made a good point. This will tumble now and run further.
Okay.
So look at the flight.
Right over our target too.
Tumbling. Watch it bounce. Kick forward through the rough.
Yeah.
And that one landed. Carry was down, but the total was the same. You just gained 10 yards of run.
Right.
So if you're playing somewhere that's really windy, you dropped your apex 10 feet, so it came down from 88 to 78. You launched it the same. You spun it at 1800, which is not a lot.
That felt like a little knuckleball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got it. So obviously, from a fitting point of view, you know now we changed the loft sleeve for you.
Right.
But that would change the face angle. And based on you wanting to hit a fade, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
The face angle would be shot, right?
Yep.
So you'd be then like, well, hang on, I can't fade it.
I like that. I really do like the way that one came out, though. Hit up a little bit more on this one.
So when hitting fade, you got to hate the look of that. No, it didn't. It just was straight left.
It was dead straight. I was okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad with that.
But the way, so 1400 spin, the way to max out this one, tee it as high as you can.
Ooh, okay.
And
yeah, I like that.
So there are different ways.
Right, you move that.
Yeah.
All right, let's
you
try
get
and launch one now. Let's try and really hit a higher one.
So if someone loves a high tee, wants forgiveness, you put the weight in the front, you tee it as high as Grant's got it now, which you can see is all the way outside his front foot. And he's just going to launch this himself because he's efficient like that. And now you get super high launch, low spin. Tack angle 5.6 up. I mean, that's Rory territory.
That one flew too.
Gain speed. So of course you gain speed when you do that. You manage to get the spin up. You flew it 279, and that's just touched 300.
So that just flew another.
Yeah, and it touched 300.
15.
But this is the way you get distance. If you're going into a long drive, I start talking to you like this.
Okay, I love that.
Because that launched at 14 grams, so that's very high. And here's the most effective thing: face to pack.
Ooh, that's as good as I can hit it right there.
That's fantastic.
That's it.
If I'm fitting you for a driver that you may not want the look of, but distance, this is it.
I won't hit a golf ball better than that.
It's fantastic for 1900 spin.
So I haven't hit this head. So actually at the previous TaylorMade shoot, I was hitting the LS and I really love that head. But this, when you just move the weights on the core model.
And changed your mentality.
Yeah.
So you've been playing a lot of golf, I assume, right now.
Tons.
Which is why you turn up and say to me, the first thing you say is, I noticed the lower tee height, I'm hitting pinch fades.
Yeah.
Now we should get into the Qi35 LS, then I'll tell you why you now like that driver.
Right. That last shot I hit right there was the best one I feel like I've hit all day.
But
I can't hit any better.
That was the last time I saw you. That
4.6
up is where you used to be.
Right.
So the fact that you've turned up and said, hey, I'm hitting down on it, which was 1.5 up, but also look at the speed you can get. That's why you liked it.
Right.
That's your quickest one so far.
Right.
I actually preferred the shot prior because the face angle was 0 to the path.
Gotcha. I'm really loving this.
Hit another one. You look like you want to hit another one. Go for it. I kind of thought you might go into this, so when you came in hot telling me your LS.
Yeah. I don't know. This feels with that weight. It's not spinning like it was. There it is.
It's great. It's really good. Launch angle 14.9. Attack angle, nice. That's Rory McIlroy territory. 5.4, but 1700, too low.
Too low.
You know it's too low. But look, lands that and then runs out to 290.
Right.
So 265. You get all the run out, but the bottom line is the spin's ahead too low.
I feel like when I hit a golf ball really good, I'm right in that 290 to 300 area.
So what we want to do, and that's why now I've got your Qi35 LS, based on the information you gave me, you turned up with a lower tee height. Now we have the CG projection through the face in a different spot again. But if we can activate you hitting it higher in the blade with the same delivery that you turned up with,
intentionally hit it higher. Okay.
Higher launch, lower spin.
Let's try it.
And then, now look, I've got 3 weights I can play around with. So I can throw a weight in the front, which I think will give you more tumble.
3 weights.
But also check out that head. And
Yeah.
It's different, right?
Yeah, I don't know, I love the look of this head.
Yeah, I think a lot
for
of guys
me-
do. So there's your core.
Yeah.
And if you just put that L, I mean, it's a big difference,
Yeah,
right?
it is. It's a really big difference. This is a lot smaller right here.
I think a lot of players are going to be attracted to that.
Yeah. All right, let's go with what I was hitting this
Do
morning.
what you want to do. Let's
So
get
yeah,
a
this is what
tournament
I was
set up.
doing this is what I've been doing. I've been playing the best golf of my life right
Yeah.
now. In this moment, when I'm getting this fitting, coming off some of the best rounds I've had all year. And
We got to tap into that.
Yeah, right here. This is what I'm doing. Low, tee it up low. I'm aiming left with my body and trying to hit low and left.
A lot of great drivers of the golf ball do that.
Yeah.
The lower you stay through the ball and the more left, the better this driver's going to be.
So aiming left with the body, on top of it, little fade over that white flag. Overdid it.
But I like it.
Still
So
a good strike, really good strike.
I'm going to look at a couple of different things here. Attack angle 0.6, so you've moved it 4 degrees. Spin rate 2500, really efficient. You said earlier, you know, you live in that area. Peak height 100, great. There's more in the tank, but that's very efficient. Now we can start to throw a weight forward, but let's just find out where normal is.
Okay, let's hit a really good one. That was overcut just a hair, but still a good strike. A little off the heel, so it's not gonna.
Look at how great it is, but it's not
But
going to
still-
overspin though,
yeah,
because
it's
of the
still
CG.
fading, right?
Yeah, exactly. So because of the center of gravity, you mentioned earlier, when you usually strike out the heel, the thing is going to spin.
Right.
Spin rate 2000 because of the twist face and because of the center of gravity.
And that was
of
a
your face.
slight miss hit, but I'll take that all day. It was still really good.
Slight miss hit, and the guys hit it 290 yards. Perfect.
That LS. That was pretty close. Really close there. Just right of our fairway. That was probably the best one there.
So, if I go through, I've pulled up the diagram here of your last few shots. Look at your club path. 3 degrees, 2 degrees, 2.4 going to the right. These were on the ones you hit up. As soon as you start to go more for the fade, your club path goes more to the left. But it's still in a window of -3 degrees, -2 degrees that is very safe.
Okay.
What I wouldn't want you to do, and this is great that you've come here to get the checkup and the fitting, is end up that it's -6, -7. And players do.
Yeah, you get too far. You
Yes.
gotta be careful.
And you're in the window of playing fantastic at the moment because
Right.
you're in the window of what's acceptable.
I've naturally been such a drawer of the golf ball, so the clubs, if anything, always got behind me.
Yeah.
So now I actually feel in my brain on all these shots like I'm going this way, over the top.
So let's take one of these weights
Okay.
that we've got the option to change, and let's like super juice this thing by taking the 13 out of there, so out of the back, throwing it in the front toe, that then is going to give you the fade, but you might be able to neutralize up your path a little bit. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you neutralize up your path, you're just going to get a bit more efficiency. Because some of your smash factors weren't quite as good as they can be for you.
Yeah.
I like everything you're doing.
Yeah.
But if I can give you a driver that fades it without you having to swing that far left, well, then you're in money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would love that.
Then you know you can aim left side, hit it as hard as you want, it'll fade, and you ain't got to do anything.
And that's just by changing the weights.
Just, well, moving, flipping 10 grams, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And that's, again, an engineer's dream, a fitter's dream. I'm not touching the one in the heel. I'm banging this one out here. And the beauty is, if you don't like this, we just go back to the setting we had.
Okay.
The other thing is, truth be told, we can even put you in the Qi35 and then have the weights in a different option there. So you got 2 drivers, really,
Yeah.
with 3 settings in
Right.
total.
Right.
Right, give that a whirl. Visually, it's going to look the same. It might come out a bit lower, and it will come out with a cut. But I also
might come out lower and with okay.
But in an actual real fitting, I wouldn't have said that, because you
Okay.
noticed how you picked up on that as a player.
Right.
Because what you'll do is generally hit it higher.
Okay.
So I'm just going to shut up and let you hit for like 4 or 5 balls, and then we'll see.
Okay, same thing that I was just doing. I'm not gonna really change anything up.
You do you and figure it out over these next 3 or 4 balls. Got to get used to a different feel.
Oh, that was good.
Excellent.
That was really good there. That was a very soft fade too. I liked it. Not too aggressive.
Numbers were fantastic. 11, 2300.
23, is that a good spin rate? You like that number?
Fantastic, yeah.
Okay. Oh, that was it.
Fantastic.
That's on our target right there.
So here's what I would do with you. Shot before, minus 1.8 on the path, meaning minus 1.8 to the left. That shot there, minus 3.8, so even further. The game I would play with you, I'd put one tile on the screen, and I'd be like, why don't you just try and neutralize 0 your path?
All right, let's try it.
And let's see the ball fly.
Okay. Let's get a little more squared off here, not as much. Drop the right foot back. Straight ball.
How impressive is that?
A little right.
But it drifted because of the weight.
Yeah,
right?
it's still really nice though.
0.8.
That one right there?
Yes. So I'd be like, just work on having a 0.
Okay.
And I'd leave you to it, and then you'll see a little drift to the right, and you'll get more yardage out of your fade.
Okay. Just swing normal. Oh yeah.
That'll be going longer.
Oh, naturally just fades right there.
So that's minus 0.8 left, which is great.
Interesting. That was back to back the same, right?
0.8 positive. So the first one was
okay.
actually, and that's why it went higher, because you were underneath it. And that one you covered it more.
Yep.
But that, if you could live there hitting your fades, you're going to hit your fades a bit further.
I love that. Those are like power fades.
Exactly.
A little high on the face.
High on the face means low spin, more distance. It was also 0.2 underneath. So you found neutral, but you notice how the ball's now fading.
Right.
So you're hitting them further. So if we start to look at other tiles, and I go, okay, he's delivered the same club speed, his attack angle's now 4. His distance, though, which is what we're interested in, you're only spinning at 1800, and your distance is going to be 291. So if a hole gets tighter, I'd say swing more left.
Okay, because yeah, I want to have that, like, that's what's been the difference in my scores right now, is the dispersion. I'm just keeping it really, really tight. So
Yes.
let's try and go back to that, more of that.
So swing more left. You just had a 0.2 to the right. Let's get you swinging more left for the safe shot.
Okay. Ooh, look at that.
Look how low it is. Yeah.
Low fade there.
So low spin.
Oh, that one is going to roll, though.
Great club path, minus 2.8. You're right, it did roll, but because the spin is too low, you can't carry it. So you've got 2 options now. We know the front weight is hurting you on the spin, so you can either add via the loft sleeve or move the weights back. The only reason I wouldn't add via the loft sleeve for you is because you bowled up.
I felt like having the weights in the original positions where I felt.
Because remember, if I add loft, it's going to also close the blade, and you're not going to want that. Right. And that's how you dive around the driver.
Yeah.
Where you were originally,
Right.
to show the journey as to how you got there as a player is fantastic.
And I could tell that first couple times I hit that LS with the original weights.
Yeah.
It just felt the best.
And I think it's very much because you're now not as shallow as you were last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically, the first driver, when we got you in the Qi35, it's last year's setup for you.
Right.
If you're going to hit 4 up on it, play the Qi35.
Right.
If you're going to hit it like this, play this.
Yeah.
You got 2 great options. If a golf course gets a bit wider, go shallower with your delivery and hit the 35.
I'm telling you, that fade is, it's what I got to hit right now. It's just keeping it. And even with my irons, I'm doing the same thing. So I'm trying to stay on top of it. And I've just brought it to the driver. But that Tiger lesson, I keep mentioning that. It really, because he likes to hit down on his driver. And I was like, he always, you can usually keep it in play when he needs to.
Yeah,
He gets that one out there. So I was like, I need to do that.
The best drivers of the golf ball have one shape. Statistically, it's shown. On tour, with speed and with better players and with LS type players, it's usually a fade.
It is. Yeah.
So with the CG projection through the head, and I'm talking to the better players here, it now means, you just said it, Tiger hits down on it. That means the ball CG, if you can catch it in this top part where the CG projection is lower, now you're offsetting center of gravity of this versus that, you're getting what you're seeing, which is great results.
Right. Perfect.
So let's talk about where we're going to end up for you. Qi35 LS, we've thrown that weight into the back now, the 13 gram. That pulls the CG back. The 2 3s are at the front and into your standard loft sleeve. We didn't touch that because of the way the player wants to hit it right now, which I think you verbalized really well. I think anyone out there having a fitting, be sure to bring whatever you're trying to do at that time and communicate it with the fitter. There's definitely room here that you should leave with a Qi35 because we can play with those weights.
100%.
And if you start to change the way you deliver the golf club, you got another great option.
Yeah, in case I start getting a little squirrely with the LS, I'll have that to get it straighter. But just looking at the ball flight, not even looking at the numbers, I knew right away this weighting with the LS was the best club that I felt. So not even looking at the number, I just like to sometimes just look at the ball flight, feel it. Yeah, I'm going to go with this. I can't wait to put this in the bag.
I think there's a lesson in there for anyone. There is a lot of information here a fitter's going to give you as you go through the fitting process. You should own your own golf game, and I think you do that probably the best out of everyone that we see. Yes, tour players do it unbelievably well, but in terms of the world you're in, you definitely manage this type of data well for your game.
Yeah, and only that one time I went against you and put the gold shaft in the bag. And
we don't talk about that anymore.
No, we don't. And it only lasted a day, so.
There you have it. This is Grant's Qi35 LS, and you saw how we went through an overview of the fitting process. Be sure to check out a TaylorMade retailer that will do a fitting for you and get dialed for your own Qi35.